Hello Sagittarius friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Sagittarius August 2023 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is for you if Sagittarius is your sun sign like me, or your moon sign or your rising sign or any other Sag placement you have. What I'm going to be talking about here is part of your astrological picture. If you're a very late degree Sag friend like me also, like birthdays December 15th through the rest of the sign or Sagittarius placement around 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Capricorn report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. This is the time of year that we dream about. As the planets move through Leo, it creates a series of trines for Sagittarius. And I've been talking about this for even longer than this period of time. This energy generally starts around July when the sun gets into Leo. But because we've got this Venus in retrograde and extended Venus in Leo transit, this energy actually started for us in June, which is when I'm recording this, and you can kind of hear that I am jazzed up from this placement just from the beginning here, and it's going to only get stronger as time goes on and gets into this period of time, August, that I'm recording this for. So there is a lot to celebrate and a lot to talk about. I'm calling the theme of this month 8 game-changing opportunities for Sagittarius in August, and of course, truth be known, it's a nice convenience to do monthly horoscopes. It's easier to wrap our brain around a month storyline. But the truth is that very few transits fit neatly within a calendar month. They generally start before and go after. And this storyline with all these Leo potentials started in June, will go into October. We're at the heart of it here in the heart of Venus retrograde, but that's just one of the pieces that's going on here. We also have opportunities from other placements, and we're going to get into that. So the first thing that I want to do is just give you a couple of pieces that are relevant for the general energies this month. My goal for doing this work is to help you understand the energetics at play so you can have the best experience possible by understanding the astrological weather and aligning with the natural rhythms of the universe. So I like to speak about things in layers because that's how I've come to understand astrology. There's a layer of truth going on. Then there's another layer of truth going on. Then there's another layer of truth going on. And sometimes those truths conflict with each other. Sometimes they support and enhance each other. But I like to give it to you in these layers so that you can kind of break it down and see these different storylines. None of these are the be-all, end-all of the month. They're all pieces that contribute to how we will have our experiences at this time. So again, this month, like in July, we had many more salty aspects compared to sweet ones. Don't let this make you nervous. This is nothing to fear. These are road bumps. They're nuisance aspects. They will bring frustration. But if we just know that they're coming, similar to being on a road where there are speed bumps, if all of a sudden you're driving and there's a speed bump and you get jostled, you're really irritated and thrown off. But if you knew beforehand that street had speed bumps and you slowed down, well, then you'd have a different experience, wouldn't you? So that's what we're doing here. We're letting you know there are going to be some speed bumps, but these are things that tend to pass pretty quickly. All right. We still have a break from eclipse season. The April and May eclipses carried intensity even into June, but now in July and August, we get this break to integrate those radical changes that recently have been introduced. We've got 2 eclipse cycles at play right now. It's complex. September puts us back into eclipse season that is the prelude to the October eclipses, 4 to 6 weeks before the eclipses starts the season, which will begin pretty much right at the beginning of September. We may see some of it at the very end of August, but for the most part, August is pretty clear compared to what we're going to step into in the fall or spring for you all down under. So in October, we've got the conclusion of the Taurus-Scorpio storyline of the eclipse cycles that began at the end of 2021. This has been kind of a tough angle for Saggies, so we've really been feeling this, and there are going to be a lot of things that are clearing up here. We also began in April with that Black Moon eclipse, the new Aries Libra storylines, and these are much better connected to positive aspects for Saggies. So hopefully you've had some goodies come in from that, and we've got that to look forward to coming soon. But in this little buffered period of time, we've got more time to integrate before, that kind of intensity of eclipse season comes back. All right, so we're going to definitely talk about implications of Venus retrograde from the trines that it makes for Saggies. I'm not quite ready to go into that yet, but I do want to give you some timelines and dates just so that you kind of know what we're working with. Venus rules love and relationships and design and beauty and self-esteem and money and finances. And Venus is retrograde from, well, let's back it up. The Venus pre-transit shadow period begins June 19th and stretches until July 23rd when the official Venus retrograde starts, stays retrograde until September 4th, with the post-transit shadow period lasting until October 6th. Okay, so as I had mentioned, this is a supremely positive transit for Sagittariuses because in some cases, some of us are going to get, and actually most of us are going to get 3 kisses for each Sag placement from this transit. We'll go into more of that later, but I just wanted to kind of give the overview of the energetics of this month and the timelines, okay? So things coming back from the past involving love, beauty, money. Sure, there's always the potential for challenges to come from the past, but the chance for rectification of those issues is more enhanced now than ever. At the same time, we have Mercury retrograde in effect in Virgo. Little bit different energy there for us, creating a square. We'll talk about that. So we've got August 4th starts the pre-transit shadow period. August 23rd through September 14th is the retrograde. And then the post-retrograde transit runs until September 30th. So August and September pretty much covered in Mercury retrograde. Things to know about this right now is that we've got changes to plans, difficulty planning, and the more you leave yourself unscheduled, the happier you'll be, and the more you can leave room for last minute magic, as I like to call it, where things come all out of the blue as a possibility in this retrograde time. Awesomeness for you, blast from the past, or a chance for you to do something you've been wanting to do. And if you leave the space in your schedule, you might actually be able to say yes to this. So just some general energies it kind of lends itself more to short-term energy, inward, backward. This whole month is really the energy of being the spider and letting the webs that you've made before work for you now, seeing what food is brought in rather than trying to conjure more food or more webs, just trusting that the universe is going to bring you through the lines that you've already created, the things that you need. And also the energy of being on the seashore and seeing what the tides wash up rather than trying to set something afloat to sea because the tides are coming in. So if you try to push something out too far at this time, it's only going to land right back on the beach where you're standing. So just kind of keep that in mind for launches or big things. There's plenty of stuff that you can do. And if you search for Annie Botticelli retrogrades, you'll find, if anniehelpsyou.com, I've got lots of blogs. I've got videos. So, and I do have links in the notes underneath this video or podcast to help you understand retrograde energy more. But the thing to know is things tend to get hard to plan for the present and the future at this time, and you want to mostly deal with the things closer to you and opportunities that come to you rather than trying to conjure something or make it happen. Okay, so one other point I want to make before we get into these 8 game-changing opportunities for Sagittarius in August, and that is this unique combination of fire energy. So we've got, Venus retrograde in Leo. We've got the sun in Leo. We've got star goddess Lilith in Leo. And then we've got Mercury retrograde, Pallas Athena in Virgo, and Mars in Virgo. Okay, so these are very different energies, but they're very noteworthy. And I love this because we get all of that fiery exuberance and creativity at the same time as the chance to channel it into an organized and tangible expression. So this month is the epitome of bringing creative ideas into physical reality, and this attention to details and tedious tasks that Virgo might bring us to. And this discernment can help us to trim the fat of the excessive expression into this chiseled version of perfection. And we also have a rare chance to have balance, okay? The grounded earth energies with these vibrant fire energies can really help to bring balance. Okay, now let's get into our 8 game-changing opportunities for Sag in August. First thing, clear family karma. This is coming from multiple directions. The first thing I'm looking at here has to do with Saturn moving through the 4th house. We are going to have this transit here for years. It is still kind of towards the beginning of these energies, but the more we understand what's going on here, the more we're going to be able to benefit from intentional karma clearing. Saturn is making a square with Sag placements during these 3 years, and it's moving through Pisces. If you've ever tracked the energy during Pisces, like, in that March period of time, into February, March period of time, I always talk about this at those times of year, it puts out our fire. It douses our fire. It's very, very much of a buzzkill energy. And so there's a lot of that going on in our family, housing, homes sector, and there's karma to clear through. There is a spiritual principle that talks about attachment. Okay. Now, I think it's important for people to have some expectations, unless you decide you want to just live on a mountaintop and be a Buddha. We have to have some expectations of ourselves, the people around us. But it is true that in many cases where we place attachment, we have resistance when it seems like something may happen to that thing. Okay, so family stuff is going on here. Family housing situation, something going on even with your in-laws, or something having to do with your ancestry or roots. The more you can release attachment and needing something to look a certain way, the more easy these 3 years are going to be, basically, okay? Someone may be controlling something that you have no control over, but that you are invested in a mighty way. And if you can start to put eggs in the basket or stones in the foundation of this idea that nobody can take something from you that is yours, okay? That spirit can bring you what is yours by divine right if you just let your subconscious mind know that you trust that if something is not your highest and best, that you're going to do your best to not attach to it. And this will help you to bring great peace and clear family karma. Also, Saturn, the taskmaster, trying to interact with that person in your life. Maybe you are the representative of Saturn for somebody. Maybe someone else is the representative of Saturn for you. But the more you avoid conflicts with that Saturnian energy, either through you trying to get someone to do something a certain way or you engaging too much with somebody that's trying to control you, the less you'll have this karma that just keeps manifesting from you continuing to engage with these people or this person. Okay, so there's very likely for many of you a person representing Saturn whose mind you're trying to change, whose mind you're probably never going to change, whose opinion you are seeking, but it always winds up not being good for you, and whose approval you really want, but you're probably never going to get. Okay, so if you can just accept that, stop that, then you can clear a bunch of family karma and a bunch of just karma. And when I say family, this could be a family member, or it could be like a partner or somebody else that's reflecting an old family paradigm for you. So maybe it started with your ancestry, your family unit, and someone else is acting it out or being your reflector now. But you can still heal the family karma by choosing different interactions, okay? So if you find you're around somebody that's not helping you act in your highest self, you might need to take a little space from them. I'm not saying make a permanent long-term decision necessarily. Just in whatever ways you can set boundaries and keep space, it's going to help you to clear this karma. Okay, number 2, game-changing opportunity for Sag in August. Recycle past efforts for amazing present and future results. All of this retrograde energy in your house of inspiration, the Sag house, your house of creative solutions, your 10th house of work and career and employment, can give you opportunities to create a new product from stuff you've already done. And the retrogrades really firmly support this because even though it's, quote, new, it's recycled from old. So you could take a book you were going to write and turn it into a bunch of blogs. You could take blogs you wrote and turn it into a book. You can take things that you've done already and recycle them for amazing outcomes. Number 3, game-changing opportunity for Sag in August is to capitalize on extreme focus. Yes, those Leo energies are going to get us jazzed, exuberant, out of our minds, okay? And it's a little bit hard to stay grounded. You can hear it in my voice, like just with Venus being here and making trines to my many Sag placements at this point, it gets me really, really riled up. So it's not easy to stay grounded. But if you keep that hope, that inspiration, that vision, that creative motivation there in your field, at the same time as you let those Virgo placements give you the focus to channel it, you're going to be able to really capitalize on these Virgo placements. Because usually these Virgo placements, what do? They make a 90-degree angle, like I talked about before. That's a square. It's a pressure point. Again, nothing to fear here. Something in your work career for the present or future or past needs to be reevaluated. You're going back over it. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some polishing in order to bring out the shine. But if you capitalize on, focusing on these tedious tasks now, you're going to be really happy about that soon. All right. Number 4, game-changing opportunity for Sag in August, create industry. This is a really fun one. Pallas Athena, my favorite star goddess, is a notorious creator of industry. One example, she created weaving. That's one of her things that she created, and many, many, many people have had industry because of weaving in the past and now, So this idea of creating industry for yourself, for other people, you as this teacher, you as this learner who's learning and teaching and then creating work for other people, or creating work for yourself through your creative ideas. There's a lot of energy around that for you now. Okay, number 5, game-changing op for Sag in August. Travel far and wide. Oh gosh, is this one of our favorite things ever or what? I know it is for me. So even though the retrogrades are happening, and even though it's not going to be easy to try to make a plan to travel at this time, and changes may be made, things may be called into question, there still may be some travel that happens in a big way, somewhere far away. Could be in the same country, but just far away. Could be different country or countries. But the energy to travel far and wide in a way that really changes your life in a positive way is up as an opportunity for Sag at this time, with all of the Sun and Lilith and Venus retrograde trines. Okay, number 6, game-changing opportunity for Sag. Plot out future international experiences. Now, I've already told you it's not super easy to plan for the present or future at this time, but there is something about going back over ideas you've had. Maybe you're trying to bring your work into the international arena. Maybe you already have it there and you're trying to expand it. Maybe you want to live in 2 different countries. Maybe you want to move, immigrate. Maybe you want to bring your business to have some kind of international connection, or you want to work for an international company. This is a time where you could get pieces coming together to plot out future international experiences. Not necessarily in a set plan. Things might work out differently than you're trying to make them at this time. And whatever you're doing now, it may work out differently in the future of whatever you're trying to do. But this is still a really great game-changing opportunity now that you might get important insights or resources or keys for things that you're trying to do with international connections in the future. And this also can have to do with languages, by the way. So learning languages, or interacting with people, who speak different languages is also part of this. Okay, number 7 game-changing opportunity for Sag in August is to let education change your life. You may have the perfect education opportunity come to you at this time. You may be interested in something as a hobby that can be your future work. You may, finally take the time to jump into something you've been so excited about that can change your life in positive ways. I know for me, astrology started out as a hobby, and now look at it. Wow, right? What? So you might have something that's like a hobby for you. It's something that's super fun. Those Leo energies really lend themselves to fun. And they're in the 9th house of education. So taking classes or courses on things that are super fun for you is opening this game-changing opportunity for you at this time. And also the energy of education through teaching. So maybe, you're stepping into teaching opportunities. And the number 8 game-changing opportunity for Sag in August is to vibrate your magical heart song loudly and widely. This is a term that I like to use for that vibration that only you have, your unique way of expressing things. This Leo energy really embodies our unique contribution to the universe through our magical heart song, that I like to call it. And so this is a time where you might really be bringing that magical heart song out in new and wonderful ways and opportunities. Again, if you're trying to conjure it, it's not the best time for that. But if opportunities come to you, like someone says, would you like to share your magical heart song on my blog or at my coffee shop or, whatever it is, then you might notice that opportunities come to you. And even though it might not be a time for new things, it is a time for experimentation. And it can be a great time to say yes to opportunities that come to you without attachment about what they're going to look like or turn into. Okay, so a couple of dates of note. There are 2 beautiful fire trines occurring on August 12th and August 14th. These are both happening around 19 degrees. First the sun, and then Venus will trine Chiron, the wounded healer. This is the energy of healing. When Chiron is involved, there's always some level of healing occurring. And this, the most fabulous of all astrological connections, the trine, can bring this passionate focus on sharing your story, or, beautiful outcomes from healing work you've used previously, or a new modality or experimentation tool could come in to be discovered. But either way, look out for the universe conspiring for your good. The sun can bring a lot of help for your physical health and inspiration. And the Venus energy can bring blossoming to your relationship or your financial sector. So, these are beautiful, fiery connections besides all of these beautiful trines that are occurring. And speaking of which, let's talk about some of these connections. Venus retrograde. Venus is going retrograde in Leo from 28 degrees back to 8 degrees. Everyone in the Sagittarius spectrum is going to get mega goodies and mega potentials from this. So don't worry, nobody's being left out. If you are in the birthdays of the last couple of days of November through all of the December Sag birthdays, you are going to get 3 kisses to any one of your placements that are between 8 and 28 degrees. Okay, so it's only those of you in the first week, like the first Scorpitarius 7 days, that aren't getting those 3 trines directly. But don't worry, like I said, you're not being left out of this. Everything is close enough to your placements that all, goodies are spilling all over your particular part of the sector. But everyone in that 8 to 28 degree zone is going to get 3 kisses to every Sag placement you have in there between June and October. All right. And then for the trines with the sun and Venus and Chiron, those are around 19 degrees. So we'll give a 5-degree range, about 14 degrees to 24 degrees. So we'll say birthdays around December 4th through around December 14th. The closer to around December 9th, the bigger the kiss for all of these. Okay, sorry, my recording just did something weird. So I'm not sure what I just said, but I'm going to give you the info now. Basically, this is happening around 19 degrees. Okay, so 14 degrees through 24 degrees, that's going to be around December 4th through around December 14th. And the closer to around December 9th, the more you get the biggest kiss from these trines. But nobody's left out of it, like I said. But if you're in that zone from December 4th through 14th, or the 14 degrees through 24 degrees, then the bigger kiss you get from this Chiron series of trines. We also have 3 trines with Mars this month. So impetus and action joining in ways that create massive material manifestation is the storyline here. August 1st, August 16th, and August 24th, Mars in Virgo trines Jupiter, then Uranus, then Pluto. So a lot of magic there. A lot of this is centered around your work and career and employment. And if you're not in that sector, it could be father or father figures. And for all of you, this can also be your work out in the world, whether you're paid for it or not. Date to look out for, days around August 22nd, Mars in Virgo will oppose Neptune in Pisces. A little confusion, deception, something going on there. Just kind of have extra security and care at that time. If you love my sweet and salty dates and the days to be, awareful and careful of, and my favorite dates of the month, you definitely want to go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, sign up for my free VIP community, get my emails. You'll get my report at the end of each month, which is a month early, with my write-up for the month with those special dates. And then you'll get just 2 other emails throughout the month with a lot of content to help you make the most of the starry potentials. Now, if you want to learn astrology and you resonate with how I teach, I have so many people with Sag placements that come to be my students in my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course, because many Sag placements really, 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 resonate with all the Sagginess I've got going on. I will love to take you from ground zero to earning money as an astrologer, or if you don't want to do it professionally, you just want it for your own, your passion, your excitement, your hobby, which who knows what it will blossom into in the future, then you can go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. If you think I put a lot into my free work, then you should see what I put into this paid course. So you can check that out there. There are also free courses at lumelife.com, Lume, life.com. All of these links are in the notes underneath the video or podcast also. Now, if you are not ready to commit to that course, but you want to go deeper into my teachings, join my secret star portal at AnnieBAstrology.com. Annie, the letter B, astrology.com. There you have a year's worth of archives of content that I've created that is still relevant now, and new content added monthly. For a very low subscription price. You can help support my work this way. You can access more of my work for your learning. And so you can see that at AnnieBAstrology.com. Saturn Pisces deep dive, Jupiter and Taurus through the signs deep dive, how to make tough astrological transits easier deep dive, the sun through each sign as we go through that to make the most of it, new moons, full moons, reading your natal chart, name it, it's in there. So you can see that at AnnieBAstrology.com. Make sure you look at my Venus retrograde links in the notes underneath the video or podcast. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.